Cliff the Dark Knight. If the Steelers roll out Moore slash Jones at left tackle slash right tackle when the team rushes for over 200 yards, how hard would it be to insert Troy Fautanu into the lineup?
I think it'll be really hard, and I think it's supposed to be. If we're trying to be, this great unit, and we want to actually have the best players out there, shouldn't it be you actually outperform the player to get on the field, and not just because this is where you were drafted at, you get the fast pass to just jump over a guy that started in this league for multiple years and it's had good years. That's kind of how I look at it, man. And I just know from dudes in that locker room, man, you'll run into that similar feeling because it's like, yo, you cut on that tape. I get it's preseason, but if that's all we're going off of for this season, Dan Moore was the best tackle that we had, and it wasn't close. So to just pull him out after you're saying us rushing for 200 yards just for the sake of trying to get the rookie out there, I think that you would send a very, not cool message to the squad, man. And then, if Troy does struggle like we did see him in the preseason early on, obviously it was his only game in the preseason, but if that were to be the case or it continues, now we're playing the game of, do we pull Troy back off the field and put Dan out there? And now how does that whole situation work? Or when you put Troy out there, does Dan now become trade bait? Because we know a lot of people have talked about that, right? If he's this good or if he's good enough to start, but we don't like him to that extent, why don't we utilize him to get another asset in here? Well, those are a lot of ripples that come off of that type of move. So that's why for me, I'm kind of cool with Troy having to sit until it's an injury or somebody's just not consistently playing well. I don't care if it's Dan or Broderick. If one of them dudes are struggling, it's like, yo, let's start flipping and going through some, utilizing some of these other players. But until then, I'd want to just, start with that group right there in terms of Dan at left and Broderick at right. That's kind of how I would do it, at least.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about who it is with their name on the back of the jersey. If they're just
Yeah.
flat out right playing good, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I
my
know we want
thing.
to
It's
see
like,
Fautanu, but
yeah.
if Dan Moore's balling out and Broderick is the regular season version of Broderick, he
Mm-hmm.
lets that preseason version of himself die in the preseason, then yeah, I'm not in any rush to
Yeah.
put Fautanu in there. But you're
Yeah.
right to like if either of them start struggling, yeah, why not
Yeah.
after a few weeks into this start
Yeah.
messing around with different combinations?
Well, because that's
But
the
if we
thing. When
go
you
for
got a first,
200 yards on the ground,
you got
I'm good
first.
with the O line.
I'm like, we go for 200. Like, he ain't say, yo, we go for 80, a buck 20. He's like, yo, two. I'm like, bro, 200 yards. That means we're moving people off the ball. I don't care about the feelings when that's happening because the production is there. And now it's like, how do you justify taking him off the field if that's the case? And up until this point, what have we seen from Troy in stadium to say, yeah, he does deserve to be out there over Broderick or he does deserve to be out there over Dan? We haven't even gotten to that point just yet because he obviously got hurt in the preseason. But that's my other part where it's like, man, the one dude that I saw have consistently good tape in all three preseason games was Dan Moore. But that's the guy that we're going to just be in such a hurry to get off the field because he wasn't drafted in the first round like Troy or Broderick. Like, I just don't agree with that per se. But like I said, man, if either one of them dudes start slacking, man, Troy, you first up. You already know what time it is, man. Get out
Yeah,
there
if
and let's
Dan
see
Moore
what's up.
starts
Yeah.
sucking, then that's a different story.
Right.
But
Way different story.
throughout these preseason games, he's looked the best.
Yeah. So like I say
So
that's
I'm with
kind of
you.
look at
I
it,
don't
man.
think we got to be
Yeah.
in a rush for it.
Yeah. It's a good problem to
Um,
have though. When you got first rounders, when you have talent, it's a good problem. Because today's episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, only the top-rated sports booking app in all of North America. I mean, we know safe, secure, and the most important thing, just like the homie Deke, reliable, baby. You gotta be reliable, all right? And we got something exciting this year. So usually, we had the OG promo code for the OG listeners. Y'all know what that was. But the new one, oh, you starting it up with that $5 deposit, right? But you getting 250 in bonus bets along with, Deke, you're going to like this one, 1 month of NFL plus premium on the squad, man. Shout out to DraftKings,
oh
all right?
man,
Shout out to DraftKings. This is a simple concept. The promo code is MOATS. You download the app, put the promo code in, initial $5. Then from there, you're receiving 250 in bonus bets that you might use for anytime touchdowns. We know the games are going on this week, so we're going to be excited about it. But you also can get a chance to lock in and follow your squad, man, with 1 month of that free NFL Plus Premium, man. So shout out to the homies over at DraftKings. And I also know at times, just like myself, you can run out of control, all right? And the moment gets a little bit too big for you. Well, when that happens, you got to look into your resources, okay? Sometimes you might have a gambling problem, need some help. For those that live in New York, you know it's the number that you can call. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER. I said 1-800-GAMBLER.